Now, in other news, I have found parts for the Charger's suspension, so we will be working on getting that going shortly. The 400 small block for the Chevelle is in the works. It has been decked and honed. That has been complete. I just need to send them pistons so that we can get the final matchup done at the machine shop. The thing I'm waiting on right now is I don't have anybody that wants to install a turbo, and I want to do a boosted application on the 400, so I need to figure out if I'm doing a turbo, a supercharger, or a NOS kit. I found a shop that'll do a NOS kit, but the thing with the NOS is the bottle runs out. And from what I've been told, I'll need a 200-ish shot of nitrous to get where I'm wanting, which, to be honest, they said I'd be able to make like 10 to 15 passes, which that doesn't really sound that fun to me. It sounds more fun to hear the turbo noise and the just have it when I need it. Now the downside with the turbo is for the boosted application that I'm wanting. Oh, that sun is awful. Let's do this way and shade time. For the boosted application that I'm wanting, we'll need, I think it was no, I just did it off of Garrett's website, Garrett Turbos or whatever they're called. Anyway, off of that website, it said that I would need about an 80mm turbo, which seems pretty big to me. Now, I know the 400 could turn a supercharger, right? I know with the smaller engines, like if you're working with like a 2J or anything between like a 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder, I mean, sometimes even the V6s, really, they just can't, they don't have enough low-end torque, low-end power to really turn those superchargers, because those superchargers can take a lot of power to turn. I know the bigger V8s can turn them. I know a 5.7 can turn it, so I know a 6.6 liter, I think is what the 400 is. I'm sure the 6.6 could turn a supercharger, no problem. The issue comes to, I don't want to cut my hood. I like the look of my Chevelle. I don't want to cut it, and I'm pretty sure that if I was to do, hey, there's stuff on the ground. I'm pretty sure that if I was to go ahead and throw a supercharger on there, that I would need to cut my hood. And even if I did extend it, that's something I really don't want to do. But if we look here, I mean, there it is, dirty. But let's pause this 1 second. But yeah, if we look here, we do not have much room. I'm pretty certain that this filter here sticks right, comes within a couple inches of hitting that already. I mean, if we watch it come down, yeah, we're right there. With that being said, I don't really see a supercharger fitting there. Maybe if I could do like a Phytech system, I'm not sure how much those stick up, but maybe it would stick up less than a carburetor, or one of those Holley snipers or Holley demos, whatever they're called. If I was able to get one of those, maybe we could do a supercharger. And supercharger would be fine, but it's just that issue of, I'm pretty sure no matter what route I go, that 400 will not fit a supercharger underneath there. Now I know I'd probably have to go with some type of mechanical computer aided system when it comes to hurry. I know I'd have to go with some type of computer-aided system when it comes to those superchargers or turbos. It's just the name of the game. I mean, I don't think there's anybody around here that would do it without one. So the problem comes from just trying to fit that under the hood in general. need to learn how to keep this in focus. Hopefully I can find somebody to do the turbo application, just because I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to put an engine that I've built with a turbo application that I've thrown together into my nice car. So with that being said, trying to figure out what to do there. Now, I do have an LS block. That I do, which I think I talked about maybe putting the 350 into the Charger just to move it, just so that it runs and moves around, rather than it just sitting here. But regardless, I'll have to get that suspension done first, which is costly. We're talking like $6 grand-ish total for a new suspension setup, which isn't the biggest problem. It's just right now I'm working on trying to get all the funds for it, because between both the Chevelle and the Charger, they're quite expensive. And then we've got Riley's truck, and then we're trying to do our best to upgrade the sound system. Right now we're just using our phones and using the mics off of our phones, but we've noticed that the audio for that is pretty poor, so we're trying to get some wireless mics to increase that. But wireless mics are also expensive. In fact, for 2 wireless mics, it would be close to $1 grand. Here is what I've picked up. I don't know if I've told you all about this, but I have an LS, which does need to be taken apart and cleaned. It does turn over, which is, cool. Or, I can turn the engine over. Lots of stuff needed to actually complete this, but I got it for like $30. So, there's no cracks or anything in the block that I've found. And even if there was, I just wanted this engine stand. That's all I wanted. And they basically threw in this for an extra $30, which I'm sure I can pull enough parts off of it if I needed to make my money back. Now, here's the interior for the Charger. Nobody has made an offer on this. I can't believe it. I mean, this is brand new interior here. We're talking like, maybe 15,000 miles on a max. Don't look at that bottom part. That bottom part of that seat there. Yeah, so like 15,000 miles on these seats max, brand new, mint condition, comes with a build sheet right over there. That is too far. That is too much information. Comes with your build sheet right there. So make your offers, 30,000 firm. I know what I have, no tire kickers. Anyway, I could, but where I was going with this is I could potentially do this LS build and throw it in the Charger until we get a proper Mopar engine, with the fact that why would I build an LS engine to temporarily throw into my Charger whenever I have a 350 that I could temporarily throw in the Charger that's already built. That is my thinking anyway, but there's been some people that have said do the LS build and throw it in the Charger. That's sacrilegious, and I don't want to be a part of that. I don't need people with pitchforks at my front door. So yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But I would like to get this Charger up and moving for 2023, before 2024. That's the goal anyway, to just get it running, get it to where it can move on its own power, is where I would like to get it. I understand that that's a pretty hefty goal for 2 people with 0 experience on cars. For the most, I mean, I didn't even learn how to change oil till I was like 16, dude, when I got my first vehicle. So literally 2 people with 0 experience on vehicles in order to get a car moving 1 year. I know it can be done. For people that know what they're doing, it could be done rather easily. But for us, I don't know. We'll have to see. Trying to keep that sun out of the way. But that's pretty much all the updates we have for you right now. Just, I need to find somebody that'll do that turbo application on that 400, and then I can buy the pistons, because depending on what I can find, because I found a shop to do a NOS kit, but if I cannot find a shop to do a turbo application, we'll have to go with that NOS. But all of that depends on my compression ratio, which will kind of determine everything. and that leads me to needing to buy, or needing to know which type of pistons to buy. If I have to go with a super high compression ratio engine just to get decent horsepower in then that's a different type of piston than if I need to go with a lower compression ratio to add an 80mm turbo on it to get the horsepower desired. So all that matters. And then on top of that, we've got, what else is it? There's something. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, right. Do I twin turbo it? And when I say twin turbo, what I mean is, do I want to do one of those forced applications where I put a smaller turbo on to force, to feed that bigger turbo? This way I don't have as much turbo lag, because that would be the big concern with the Chevelle, with an 80mm turbo. I mean, you've got an 80mm turbo, but you're gonna, if you don't even hit your boost until 30, 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, what's the point? I mean, around here, if you're going that fast, you're probably going to jail anyway. But I've got to figure out if I want to add another turbo, a smaller turbo to feed big turbo to feed engine, or if I just want to run with an 80mm to feed engine. I don't know if the Gen 1s produce enough exhaust to actually, produce enough exhaust to feed that turbo without that much lag. I don't know how much it requires. I'm not an expert, like I said. I don't know what I'm doing. So we got to figure that out. Also need somebody who knows what they're doing. I've yet to find anybody that will actually give me a solid answer. Everybody just kind of keeps sending me in circle. Oh, well, what camshaft do you want to run? Well, what crank? Well, what pistons? What rods? What type of stroke do you need? What bore is it? I told you the bore. I told you all that. I just need the engine to run. Okay. I just need it to run. I'm looking for like 650-ish wheel, trying to squeeze as much out of this 400 as I can. That is what I want. But I digress. Anyway, those are really all the updates. I'm looking for maybe a 2-speed power glide with an overdrive to throw in the Chevelle as well. And then I'll get bucket seats for it eventually and make a custom center console. This way I can have cup holders. That'll be nice. And then, get the paint fixed on it. See, all these things that are adding up set the car back. And even if I want to just, say screw the bucket seats, screw the center console for now, hold off on the 2-speed power glide, because the 350 turbo trans should hold up for that 400. Should. I know it'd be best to upgrade it, but from what I've heard, they can hold that power. It's just one of those things where you don't really want to hold, you'll tear up a transmission a lot easier with that type of power. Anyway, I could wait on all that, but the paint, I need the paint fixed, and the paint will probably be about $4,000. So regardless, that paint is priority over everything else, because I don't want the Chevelle to rust out, and it's in a bad spot where rust occurs most commonly. So I'm waiting on the paint and body shop to get a hold of me to tell me when my appointment is to pay for that one. About $4,500-ish to fix that, get all that fixed, and then we can start working on the Charger and the upgrades for the Chevelle. But right there, we've got, between the turbo, the engine, and the Chevelle's paint, we're talking probably close to, nowadays with parts and everything, I would say high end 15,000. Yeah, probably on the high side about 15,000, on the low side maybe more like 11. But either way, that's 11 grand that we're going to be behind on, let's say, the Charger. Which 11 grand, I could have bought the suspension for both the front and back with that type of budget for this Charger. So that's really where we're at. And of course, these are my projects. Riley just helps me. So he's not helping to pay for it or anything, and he shouldn't, right? But what I want you to understand is it is just me trying to pay for all of this stuff. And it's difficult, man. It's difficult, especially when there's like the return is getting to see the car run, which is awesome. That's all the return I need. But I'm not making money off of this stuff. I just want to see it run. And when there's no return on it, it's even harder to, you know, want to put money into it. Now, like I said, that's not really an issue for me. I just want to see him run, see him drive, see him look pretty again. But, you know, I'm not one of those guys that has like 50 million subscribers, you know, where YouTube's generating me enough money to want to keep doing this, keep throwing money at it like some of those other guys can. So basically what I'm saying is just try and be patient. I do the best I can, but I work here 9 to 5. So it is a lot harder that way, but it's no excuse, and we'll get it done. It's just gonna take us a little bit more time than some of those other guys, but you know, you stick around anyway.